Hypixel Skyblock has tons of different items, each with their own collection. By gaining more of a specific item, you will be ranked compared to other people in that same collection. And for some people, it's a goal to actually obtain number 1 in that collection. So, in today's video, I'll be going over a simple guide on how to obtain number 1 in a collection. However, this doesn't actually mean you're gonna get number 1 just by, like mining a block or whatever. It's gonna take some work, but I'm gonna give you guys a simple guide on how to actually get to where you want to go. So, yeah, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into this. Now, the first step is to simply choose a collection. Now, I say simply, however, it's actually not that simple. Before you do choose one, you gotta consider just a bunch of random things. For example, who's the number 1 or who's closest to it? How much of that collection do they actually have? For example, the number 1 in carrots has 2.1 billion carrots that he farmed. Now, this is the int limit, so, one, you gotta consider that if you go over that, you're basically gonna be screwed because your collection is gonna go negative, and also you gotta realize that you have to farm 2.1 billion carrots if you actually want to get to number 1 in that position. So, it's not for everyone going for certain collections. However, there might be a collection just for you. You just gotta do a tiny bit of research. Now, if you want to actually do some research and find one of the fastest ways to actually see how close someone is to number 1, or even the number 1 person itself, if you're in Discord and you have a bot called Skyflower, you are literally able to just see anyone with their API who's public. So, if I do the command RLB, or whatever the prefix is in your server, I think the default is S, exclamation point LB, and then you type in any collection. So say I wanted to do carrot, bam, and then you'll see a little leaderboard. Now the number 1 is Dodjo with 2.147 billion. Now I know for a fact that he's number 1, so I'd be able to base, if I wanted to go for this collection, how much I'd actually need carrot wise to actually get to number 1, which is 2.47 billion. So you could literally do this for most collections. So, say you wanted to do one for, I don't know, zombies. So, Zombie Slayer XP, aka Revenant, the number 1 has 156 million XP, which, that's a lot. But yeah, you could literally do it for almost any collection. So, say you wanted to also do it for, I don't know, dungeons, because that's not an actual collection in the thing. But it is, I don't even know. But Dungeon Hub Crystal Core, since you can't actually see that in your Skyblock menu, you're able to see it here, and number 1 is that much time, which is really short, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's basically the simple way of how to use this bot, so definitely take advantage of it if you can, and do this, I guess, as your research. There you go. Now, once you've found a collection that you want to get number 1 is, my first recommendation is to try and get as many minions for that collection as you can. Since I'm trying to go for carrot number 1, I have 30 tier 12 max carrot minions. Now, obviously, I'm not going to assume everyone here has max minions for the collection that they want to go for number 1 in. However, I definitely recommend trying to level them up as high as you can to try and get more passive of that collection. So say you went to the bathroom and you're not grinding that collection, bam, your minions did it for you. You're welcome. So yeah, it's not required, of course, for any collection technically, but it's definitely recommended, at least from me, because I mean, why not? Next comes probably the hardest part of any, I guess, person's journey to get number 1, which is the grind. Now, this is what usually breaks people and demotivates them from actually obtaining that number 1 spot. Going for the top spot in literally any collection is just not easy no matter what. With that in mind, you're going to want to try and find the most efficient way to grind that collection. For example, farming wheat, the most efficient way to do so is going to be a max wheat hoe, a level 100 legendary elephant, and using a spiral farm design. However, this is drastically different if you're going to want to go for, say, I don't know, number 1 in floor 1 runs, or number 1 in that collection. What you need is probably a Hyperion to clear things faster and also teleport, and also an armor set that can get you the mana and damage that you need to actually, teleport, deal damage, etc. So yeah, it's drastically different for each collection, but if you're able to find out what you actually need, it's definitely going to boost your rates by a lot. Now, I can't really give advice for every single collection on how to actually find the most efficient way to do so. However, finding out this is pretty much all part of actually getting number 1. So, if you're able to figure it out, you're most likely going to be that much closer to get number 1. Whereas, if you can't find a good way to do it, then you're probably not going to get it as fast as someone else. So, definitely keep that in mind, and yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much gonna be the video. It's not a step-by-step tutorial, as that's basically impossible, as everyone's journey to get number 1 is always gonna be different. So, hopefully at least I led you in the correct direction. If not, whoops. But very few people actually grind their way to number 1, so if you truly believe you're dedicated enough and want to accept the challenge, there you go. Try getting number 1 in a collection. If you do, I applaud you. Congratulations. If you don't, well, you know, there's always next time. So, yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.